They'll have to just try to reset and go back at them. And it is really, really hard because you can feel like you're doing so many things right, but it can feel a little hopeless against a team like T1 because you look at the game from Quid. If I'm Quid, I feel like basically everything I did was great from a vast majority of that game. He was everywhere. He was roaming to jungle fights. He was going down to bot lane, ghosting, covering a gank, getting a kill there. Realm warping elsewhere, looking for another kill, forcing summoners, doing plays. But you still lost, right? So it can be difficult to try to just kind of have that mental reset and talk about exactly what you want to change when you only have a handful of minutes going to the second game. You can't really tunnel on these little things. You have to think about what can we actually fix for the next game, and quick mental reset. Let's go again.
And TL, a number of interviews coming out for that first series with T1 or even after series with KC, talking about, taking the losses in stride. So optimism that they can just come back into this game at full force. However, they do now finally have, they get to participate in the right of first selection after losing out in that first game. This time they've opted for blue side, T1 opting for first pick. So we'll get priority here, but TL will still have luxury of that counter pick as we get later in the draft.
And as much as a lot of people are going to say, well, you should have banned Bard, well, at least they don't have to ban Bard for the rest of the series,
That's
right?
very true.
And that is kind of the argument sometimes that coaches will make in saying that, hey, yeah, I could ban Bard for all the games, but if we're going to beat T1, it's probably going to be a long series. It's probably going to be 5 games. And do I want to spend 5 bans over the course of a series on the Bard? So people kind of look at it that way.
Yeah.
It is going to be Jayce as the top lane blind pick. Yorick is up and available and is a pick that a lot of people really like these days. The question is, do you want to play that style? I'm always a big fan of Malphite too, but I don't think you can really do Malphite this early. But I do think Malphite is excellent into the Jayce and can really be a difficult matchup for them to deal with. But it's kind of something that's pretty conditional that you'd go later in a draft if they have, like if they're playing Ashe, Seraphine, and Jayce and, like lots of low mobility, then it can be kind of a pretty nice pick. But we'll see where they want to go. And Nocturne is up, though they have banned the Orianna themselves, so they won't have that pairing. But this does lend itself to more split push, which makes me believe in the Yorick a little bit more, right? If you want to play through side lanes, then what better jungler to have than Nocturne?
No, it makes a lot of sense, right? The semi-global pressure, the ability to shut down, potential TPs, etc. But a lot of flick-throughs here from TL. It is going to be the Rumble, so something that Morgan has been comfortable on, and now paired alongside the Nocturne.
Okay.
A lot of these really nice ultimates coming through.
So I think they're looking at it less for the side lane than if you're going to go Rumble and more for the team fight. So what they are clearly missing now is the piece that holds everyone together, right? So then you're thinking about things like the Nautilus because Rel is gone, Jarvan is gone. Lee Sin, obviously, they did leave it up, and Oner is an incredible Lee Sin. So this would be a great time to pick it because you don't have to worry about Jose taking it for the rest of the series. You don't have to worry about banning it.
Yeah.
So they're going to take it away, and Oner is an absolutely stellar Lee Sin. So it's not like he's taking a hit by picking this away.
No.
He is ridiculously good on it.
It's, of course, a scary prospect. Oner on the Lee Sin, but Josedeodo prioritizing that Nocturne, a champion who can still offer a lot of that immediate utility. But there will be some eyes on Oner in the early game. See if he can get that snowball rolling. As T1 debate what the final pick here is going to be.
Yeah, thinking through their options, do they want to early pick mid and then, try to set up for that? So it is going to be Lissandra. So this is pretty interesting because you do expose yourself to some of the more difficult matchups. People love Lissandra in matchups like LeBlanc, some of these champions that are really dependent upon mobility that you can lock them down. Quid is a very good Lissandra. You could go for this type of angle. You can also go things like Victor if you just want to kind of like look to play and scale, have that AoE damage in team fights. And Syndra is something that has also been rising in priority here at MSI, but I'm more believing the Sylas simply because it's Quid, and I feel like anytime there's a good melee champion angle, Quid wants to take it, and TL are such believers in his ability on these champions. He's good on the control mages, he played a great Rise game, but like this is his bread and butter. Akali, Sylas, Yeon, these types of champs, if you give him an angle, he always wants to take it.
Yeah, Sylas a fantastic champion in those early skirmishes, and seeing that Lissandra on the opposite side just gives you a little bit more of the reliable CC that I think TL were missing, right? We said we need something to hold this all together. You got a lot of great tools to get fights started. You got a lot of follow-up damage with the Rumble, but a little more CC definitely makes the job a bit easier overall. Now, recognizing the amount of AD already present on the enemy team, maybe thinking ahead to what the bot lane matchups are going to look like. They've taken away the Ziggs. Mel, perhaps something that we could see as well.
Yeah, we'll see if they are going to ban away that Mel. This is the first Lissandra at an international since 2023 Worlds, so has been quite a while. The new picks continue to come here. And it is going to be the Nautilus that I called out. You know, that is kind of like what you lose out on by dropping that pick to 3. You know, they clearly were maybe a bit more worried about Sylas getting banned out, or maybe they were never even thinking about the Nautilus. But it was immediately where my head went, just because Jarvan and Rel are already gone, and those are such obvious pairings with the Rumble that Nautilus to me kind of felt like the next in line. So the question is, do Mel and potentially another engaged support get banned out? Because yes, like you can use Nocturne ult as a go button, but you don't want that to be your only go button. You want some sort of CC to lock them in the Rumble ult, and it's better if it is like Alistar flash combos, then the Nocturne comes in, then the Rumble ult comes in. Like, obviously they have Sylas to steal this Lissandra ult and try to use that as kind of a bit of engage, but still feel like you need a bit more lockdown.
And I really like that they opted to ban the Callisto way here, right? Traditionally really good against a lot of these shorter range kind of melee champions, and also just having access to that ulti does mean that no longer is the support an easy pick opportunity, an easy angle to look for something with that Nocturne. So, and of course we did see Peyz dominate on it the last time they played.
And I think that's a good point, and I think additionally, you're kind of looking at it as sometimes a pairing with Renata, and Renata is really good against dive comp. So if you give them an easy angle for a super powerful 2v2 like Callisto plus Renata, Bailout is great against Nocturne Dive. Hostile Takeover is great against all these melee champions running it at you. So I do think it's kind of like a bit of a two-pronged ban. Not that you can never play Renata with other things, but that is the most common and most powerful 2v2 pairing for her. And so it'll be interesting to see where they go. TL definitely needs some more physical damage. You do have Nocturne, but Varus does kind of fit the bill here. And just waiting for last pick from Core. So there is always that possibility of them getting a bit spicy and flexing things around.
Yeah.
I don't really see it happening here, but I think they just want to get a better 2v2. So they're saying, you know what? Varus is a strong laner. We're going to hold Core's pick. We're going to see what the 2v2 is from T1. And then we're going to try to pick more purely for lane is my assumption based on what we're seeing.
Yeah, and having a winning 2v2 here, going to pay dividends. We've seen how good Peyz and Keria are in a close to even matchup or even in a slightly favored matchup, and it looks like they want to take over. Lucian Milio offering a lot of range with that culling as we get later, but just such a powerhouse. I mean, the interactions between these two champions. Milio's replaced Nami, the new premier pairing, and it's just so strong.
It is really, really powerful, and you're also thinking about dive, right? You're thinking about all of these tools coming in. And then you've got Breath of Life. You've got Ultra Mega Fire Kick to be able to knock people back. You've got the Warm Hug Shields. Alistar, the other pick that I had mentioned after Nautilus is banned out. It's not playing for lane. It is playing for comp. But you know they are going to see what everything is as far as the comp for T1. And then they're going to say, you know what, we're going to go Alistar. We need that lockdown. We need that engage. And I think this style of champion really does suit Core. The question is, how brutal is the 2v2 going to be? Because you picked Varus for a strong lane, and then you picked a pylon to go next to him, right? And I mean, Alistar just can't do anything. You're a traffic cone. Like, you can go W level 1 and try to knock him away.
No, you're so completely right. And I think this is the struggle, right? Is that oftentimes we see the vision of what TL have put together, but getting through that laning phase,
just get through the laning phase.
Just survive.
Just go 50-50.
What did we say last time?
Keria.
Just survive against the Ezreal Bard.
Yeah.
And they died, and it wasn't the end of the world. They did find ways back into the game, but TL, I think, really hoping for a situation. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I shouldn't make assumptions like that.
That's fine. You're right. You're right. That's my mistake. Well, hopefully your world won't end in the laning phase this time.
I think Alistar spike, which is the concern, right?
Yes, that is true.
You know, I think we are going to see a similar setup to how the 2v2 was played in the last one, where we saw Bard and Ezreal in the brush, looking to chunk you at level 1, looking to play for that passive from the Milio plus Ardent Blaze, you know, just trying to get that damage down as much as possible, because they know Alistar needs at least level 3 before he can really play the game. And then even at level 3, unless Keria is using his Q for harass, basically the only way you're going in is if you flash, right? I'm just going to assume that every time you walk at him in combo, he's going to Q you. You have to assume that with Keria, a player of his level.
Yeah, and it's just, he doesn't need to use the Q for damage. He just doesn't have to. He's not under any pressure. Quid opting for a bold skin choice, I will say. But if it pays off, it will be a nice little dig, a nice little twist of the knife.
Or you're looking at it that way. I'm looking at it like respect. I'm playing against the GOAT here. I'm going to rock the GOAT's skin.
That's fair. That's a good way to look at it. I like that. That's a much more positive interpretation.
I mean, I think everyone who plays mid lane, Faker is your idol, right? This guy is who everyone wants to be. This guy is who, you know, everyone is trying to imitate, is trying to have that level of success.
W back. Glacial just to stop some of the potential follow-up here. As predicted, that's all we're going to get from the Alistar.
He's walking menacingly.
Keria is standing back menacingly, and it seems to be working quite well. Yes.
not allowed to do that. It's kind
of course, Vendetta is Riftbound's next set, arriving July 31st, and it brings together new champions, iconic rivalries, and beautiful art from across Runeterra. That was Jayce's Vendetta card, but instead of looking at that, look at this real Jayce right in front of you.
And we're about to see Morgan get, you know, a Vendetta against
That's true.
Doran.
That's true. It tries in beautifully. Thank you, Riftbound team. There are some. Does feel like top lane is the Thunderdome for potential solo kills, but Faker wants a solo kill for himself. First blood. Oh my gosh! They say
execute.
It's an execute on top of that, and that's you'd wear the man's clothes. He wasn't too pleased.
Nope. Take off those pants.
New skin, remake. Get him a new skin.
Get that off of you.
Get that skin off.
Yeah. Well, beautifully played there by Faker. He's playing Ignite Flash, and we didn't get a chance to touch on it, but is able to use that Combat Summoner, really bullying out Quid here early. Has him chunked low, hits level 3, and when you are that low, Ignite just adds so much kill threat here. And because Quid wasn't able to get any damage down onto Faker when he goes for it, steps forward, doesn't even get level 3, excuse me, I think that came from the kill, so just Q Flash, W, Ignite, auto, that's more than enough. Well played, and you can see Quid a little bit frustrated, but still a smile on his face.
Faker's stone cold, though. He didn't even react.
Yeah.
Just another day at the office. For you, it was the most important series of your year. For me, it was, what is it, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day it is.
Tuesday.
It all blurs together.
It's League of Legends Day.
In other T1-related news, this is actually completely crazy. Please look at the left side of the screen. Keria has passed Faker for international assists. Most assists of any player.
You know what has to happen now? Keria and Faker have to roll swap. We need to get the Go more assists.
A classic. Until Keria is at the top of the kill leaderboard, we're going to have to swap. CoreJJ and Yeon going to be in trouble, though. Yeon getting much and much lower. The follow-up is there from Oner, and it's an easy kill coming through. Flashing from Core to get a kill back. That tower shot finishing the job. Core, good return kill.
But look at the CS, or don't if you're a North American fan, because it
Very
is
true.
31-13, and that is the problem. Core plays it pretty darn well there, and you know, is able to get one back, but now Core is dead.
Good bait coming in from Keria. Peyz waiting in the darkness. He thought the recall had already come through.
I don't know why he thought it had already come through, though, because like they shouldn't really have super desynced recall timings there. I wouldn't have thought. I'm a little bit confused at the play.
Yeah, after he hit that first bit of damage onto Keria, he really thought Peyz wasn't there and continued to step forward in it.
Yeah.
Well, it cost him dearly. Oner now also hovering around the mid lane. Quid going to step in, trying to get a bit of healing back, but Oner is already here. Quid wants to get the kill in return, but he just doesn't have the damage.
Very close there. You can see the frustration on TL coaches' faces. This one's pretty much over at 4 minutes. It's going to be really tough.
Yeah, because I mean,
barring some big mistakes.
Lissandra getting leads like this, yes, she has the Ignite, is not something that you often see. This is usually just you push and you ignore that lane. It's not about killing in the 1v1.
And I kind of want to see it again because I think Quid actually missed his Q. Otherwise, he could have maybe made it a 1-for-1. It was hard to tell. Maybe the edge of it did actually hit. But Faker was baiting there. They knew that was the window. Quid knew that was the window. Before Faker gets 6, he had been playing the lane pretty darn well after the solo kill, comes back, is able to put him in position where he can actually look for that 1v1. But
Combo on the bot lane. The damage just not really there either for TL's bottom lane, as Peyz already has the Sheen and the double buffs. Josedeodo wandering down, but he'll be spotted by the control ward. Still a bit of a ways from level 6. And unfortunately, the map is just falling apart.
Yeah, it already has pretty much. I mean, this is tough, right? You know, for Jose, you're playing Nocturne. You can't really be that active, and they are trying to threaten here onto Yeon, but they're mostly just pressuring him to make him miss some of the CS. I don't think they're looking for any sort of a dive with Jose there, but Peyz definitely being super annoying with these double buffs makes it even worse. You know, Core did get a kill back, which was great. You know, got Oner's flash, which was great, but then gave the double buffs and the kill straight to Peyz, which makes the lane pretty much impossible to play when you're already miles behind. You know, you look at the buy. Peyz got Sheen longsword, and Yeon just got a longsword.
Very true. Faker waiting off to the side. Josedeodo still has access to the spell shield. Ulti stolen by Quid, but this would be a tough fight for TL. Peyz still hasn't recalled, but again, his previous recall was so good, it just doesn't really matter. Josedeodo has ulti. Maybe TL decide to fight it here. Quid going over the wall. Ulti out from Jose, maybe hoping to just get the steal. No vision means they can't quite respond. Instantaneous combo across the team. Faker ulting, but it's a little bit too late. An explosion of aggression coming out from the side of TL. Now it's Oner running for the hills as Quid looks for the cleanup kill. Q going a little bit wide. The footwork just a little bit too fancy. Quid on the chase, but a nice turn from the side of TL.
Yeah, they might be able to eventually chase down Oner, but it's hard to even say, and Quid knows he's going to start losing minions, so it is just going to be an execute here from Oner. Nicely.
Ooh,
oh, it's not. He had the timing wrong. I just gave him the benefit of the doubt that he would have had it timed out right. That's actually really big for Quid to be able to get that gold. After the last execute from Faker and the solo kill, it would have been so frustrating to have 2 executes against you in that way, but great job by TL fighting back. They take the dragon and gives them a new lease on life. You know, that mid lane 1v1 was looking like it was completely cooked at 4 minutes like I called out, but they're able to still find a good fight here. Core is threatening, Quid comes over the wall, they turn off the lights, they push them back, and now T1 can see nothing. So they just turn on the dragon, they finish the dragon, but then right as the dragon dies, look at this, in they go. Massive AoE combo across multiple members. The Lissandra all came out. The Nocturne Q hit a bunch of people. Yeon is free firing. Yeah, Alistar dies, but that is a beautiful play from a really tough position early on here in game number 2.
Yeah, and I will say, while T1 still hold on to this gold lead, you got to respect TL for always finding these fights, even at a disadvantageous position, seeing the moments where they can't capitalize. Peyz taking over to level 6. Lucky for Yeon, though, the culling angle was not great. But Faker on the way down. Uh-oh, indeed. Yeon only level 5, no cleanse available. Punt back coming in from Core. Flash forward with the Q, locking him up. Peyz caught up under tower and taken down. Excellent turn coming in from Core to shift that in their favor.
Is that world champion CoreJJ? Are we in 2017?
Faker.
Who is this man?
It is world champion Faker, just barely able to make it out. And I gotta say, that's 2 plays back-to-back where it feels like T1 should have a pretty good edge, a pretty massive edge that just have not worked out in their favor. Core again on this Alistar. We saw the laning phase, miserable, but in these plays he's been pretty big. And Quid, well, he might have been losing this, but again, got funneled a couple of kills, and now he's sitting pretty.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a lot better. And I mean, just beautiful stuff from Core. He is making so many plays. That is pretty incredible to be able to outplay in that situation. When Yeon doesn't even have flash, Yeon didn't even have to use his barrier. Core just played that brilliantly. Yeon had a great Chains of Corruption, and TL kind of pulling a rabbit out of the hat, still in a tough spot. But I mean, they were down 2K at 4 minutes. We're at 9. They're only down 1.2. It's still not great, but I mean, this is actually a playable position now from what looked like it was completely over.
Definitely very true. I think the big thing we have to look at in terms of gold overall is the item it has turned into 4 Peyz. Essence Reaver already completed. The only person on the map with that big power spike.
You're being a downer, man.
You just got to give some credit back to T1 in this one. Faker goes over the wall, and it looks like he's going to die. He's going to ult himself to get a bit more space. Frozen Iceborne Subjugation coming in to get a bit more team fight damage, but Yeon is still standing for an extra moment. Josedeodo in the midst of Keria and Oner wants to get the kill finish. Peyz trying to save his jungler. Josedeodo snipes him with the Q. Yeon versus Peyz in the pit. Yeon's got the damage. Manages to get it done.
They completely ignore Yeon in the fight. He stands, he fires, he stacks the lethal tempo. And a completed item or not, he makes some pay for that one. Core went down early in this fight. Oner, T1, they go in. They try to engage here onto Core, but Core does get his combo down. He knocks out Keria there, and the stolen Milio while buying a lot of time. As you can see, Jose goes in, he's focusing down Keria, but look at T1 just completely ignoring Yeon the whole time. He's lethal tempo fully stacked. You are standing melee range of him as the Lucian, and you are still hitting Josedeodo, who gets the Triumph proc multiple times there. The barrier comes through. Yeon, look at the cooldowns there. The split second the ulti came up, he popped it. Didn't end up needing it at the end of the day, but that is huge. They thought they could just kill the Nocturne really fast, but he got the passive heal, he got multiple Triumph procs, and he lived so much longer than they were expecting that ignoring this Varus, who's supposed to be so weak, so useless, really came back to bite him.
And my, raining on your parade a moment ago was the gold deficit, but the gold basically dead even now. Isaac, a very, very playable game. T1 similar to last game.
Gold, a paltry sum.
A paltry sum. But now,
a pittance.
I like how we have the Lord Morgan on the top side. Needs to get more of a tithe from Doran here if he wants to be a lord. He's a little bit of a broke boy at the moment, a little bit behind. But the rest of the map looking comfortable. Josedeodo 2-1-3. 5 seconds till that ulti's up.
Winnable.
T1 ready to make another play in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, the scary thing is, obviously, if you're an NA fan, you are excited that we've pulled back to parity, but we've lost so many games against T1 with
you lost with a 6K gold lead.
leads.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
one
and that's
step
happened
at a
multiple
time.
times for
yes.
TL. So,
yes.
you know, including the series that Spawn was referencing, where they were, you know, at EWC, played in Game 3, up 6K, final game, ended up losing that one too. So T1 always cannot be counted out. This team makes magic happen time and time again. As Morgan was expecting a contest, so he just walks down towards the Dragon. He's going to be there if they need him. And TP's back towards top when they see that T1 is not contesting.
And our production team keeping us humble as they flash the gold graphs there. You can see 6K gold lead, 1.2K gold lead. Those are the games we talked about where it did feel like there might be an angle to win. But again, it was so much about the mid to late game. So as good as it is, as comfortable as it might feel for a lot of people who aren't NA fans, probably shaking right now, not certain if they could be excited yet.
Yeah.
Still have to close it out for it to count, for it to mean anything. And T1, a team that adapts so quickly, even in disadvantageous situations.
You just got to remember, if you're winning, it's because you're really good. If they're winning, it's because they're tryhard. They're just sweaty, you know?
All right, Faker walking away. Ulti's still there for Quid. Very try-hard of Faker to walk away. I think it's safe to say. They didn't want to just die to Quid.
You're not going to stand and fight there?
Yeah, you didn't want to just...
Honorable 1v1.
Die, that's fine. All right. Cool, man.
T1 do have that slight lead, but it is a couple Dragons now for TL. Able to win both those fights over by the Dragon. That is massive for them. And they would be moving in towards Mountain Soul, which is actually quite nice for their comp when you're thinking about Lissandra, Jayce, Lee Sin, all of this upfront damage, so much burst that's going to be coming out from T1, which would be terrifying. You know, giving champions like this Varus in particular that additional survivability to maybe be able to live through that initial burst. And I'm going to be interested to see, you know, where Yeon goes with his build from here. He had gone Rageblade last time. You know, he did go Shiv first.
Yep.
But I did, you know, I was talking to Spawn and talking about the potential of going more like HP-centric builds against some of the teams where you don't need to necessarily non-stop auto. And I'll be interested to see if he is going to consider some of those, you know, going a little bit more defensive because there's so much burst.
Oh, ulti coming in from Quid, dash forward as well. Kingslayer to get more damage down, but Oner is now here in the meantime. Quid gonna be in trouble. Oner arriving just in time. The rest of TL on the approach. Quid living for an extra second. The difference, the locket of the Iron Solari keeps him alive. Core absolutely clutching this game thus far, but it's gonna be tough to lock down Oner. Trying to use Yeon to escape. W over the wall, flash out to safety. The man's got too much style, too much class.
Yeah, he's got swag. Well played there by Oner to get out, but still it's a big win. Morgan looking for a potential solo kill. The last minion died, otherwise he would have gone.
Colin coming in. They know Core is in trouble. Has already popped the Unbreakable Will.
Quid steeping deep.
Yeon wrapping around. Ultra Mega Fire Kick to push Yeon back. Quid debating if he can go forward. Abscond, abduct. Keria ready to body block, though. Has his ulti to cleanse out if he needs it. Good discipline from T1 to retreat as a unit, not give that flank angle to the side of TL.
Yeah, well played there by T1. Very cognizant of the fact that Quid could be coming in. And if they overcommit there on the Core, they would get collapsed on. They could be down a man and maybe taken out. But it's another brilliant play from Core. Gets there just in time, keeps Quid alive with the locket. You know, yes, Oner does escape, and that was really nice for T1. But at the end of the day, it's still the 1-for-0 on the kill. On a play that T1 were kind of going for initially. They're the ones kind of setting it up. Faker, again, was trying to go for that same play he did earlier on Quid. Trying to bait Quid to go in aggressive, knowing the Sylas has to do that to trade, and just playing behind him.
Approaching the bottom lane, Glacial Path coming out from Faker, trying to escape platform. Josedeodo, he knows that Faker does not have ulti for at least a couple seconds. I don't think the calculation is always going to be perfect, though, so Josedeodo backs away. Doesn't want to overforce on the dive. Instead, happy to grab the plates.
Yeah, they're happy to grab the plates. Not so happy to lose your flash for that, though. He really thought he would be in range to get the tether, and I think he was expecting an insta-W from Faker, so he flashed in and spell shielded it immediately, you know, because you're not going to be able to react to the W. It's just too fast if you're point blank. So he did try to kind of guess on it. The end of the day, though, they do get first tower off the back of that, so TL going to be still really happy about this. You were down 2K at 4 minutes. You're now up 1,000 gold here at 15.
Definitely a good look. T1's response on the top side does result in the tower of their own. Well, is the Herald. Speaking of grubbies. No, Herald. There
they got both.
They got both. Feeling comfy as Oner now. Another retreat necessary. Ulti coming in. That's going to be no way out for Doran. Josedeodo this time nails the spell shield. See a 1v1 in the mid lane. Yeon trying to battle with Peyz, but Peyz too damn strong.
Well played there by Peyz. Peyz flashes over the ultimate, something that is very difficult to do timing-wise. It's easy to flash to the side. That's not hard, but he wanted to stay in range, knew he had the damage for the solo kill if he could actually outplay him in that way, and is able to pull it off. And now Quid is and Oner's coming behind him.
Faker not here to do damage, just to stall. Quid getting into melee range is big, though. Faker gets himself an extra 2.5 seconds, extra healing coming in from the Frozen Tomb. One more rotation as Quid desperately tries to finish it, but the damage is not there. Oner, however, grabs the kill.
Nicely done there. Quid just way overstaying his welcome. I mean, if he still has mana, Faker can't delay like that because Quid can kill him. But because he's out of mana, it was tough for Quid in that position, and he just gets kind of chased down. So we can see this one more time. Yeon already a little bit low, and the pink ward there was a lot of safety for Peyz. That ward that you can see right here, this actually gave him a false sense of security because this ward does not actually see that ward, I don't believe. So it doesn't actually see the far other side. So Peyz had his ward over, hugged that wall, and that made Yeon face check him, which set up for that brilliant play from Peyz where he's able to flash over the ult, but required a lot of things to happen there. And you can understand why Yeon walked into that brush thinking, hey, it's warded, I'm safe.
Yeah, when we take a look at the coin-based gold grind, you can see Peyz pretty comfortably ahead, and overall tower plates giving him that bit of edge as well as a bit more in the kill department, especially after that solo 1v1. T1 going to slow down the Drake stacking. ITL the sole point. But now TL looking maybe to respond here with a play of their own, or at least clear out some of the vision. Top side, Morgan uncontested on this push for now.
And Yeon, this is Yeon versus Peyz, Yeon versus everyone else. Obviously had a pretty rough outing, versus Peyz. I don't think he's still back to his peak form, in those other series, but he has definitely been improving. I think he's rebuilding that confidence, and it's nice to see him, having a pretty solid game here. Had a really tough start, was able to have that big fight, get back in it. Yes, he's still behind Peyz, but it is a manageable disadvantage. The rest of the team is all ahead. They have a real shot in this game. And this is all TL really can ask. You just can ask from your early game, put us in a spot where we have a chance to win. Because at the end of the day, you've got to win the team fight if you want to beat T1. And they are in a spot where they have a legitimate shot to win, but you've got to get it across the finish line. And that is so damn hard to do against T1. So many brilliant team fighters across the board. Any one of the 5 from T1 can step up at any moment and solo win a team fight. And that is really hard to deal with.
It certainly is, and I think TL in this game, and certainly in last game, finding a lot of good opportunities to fight back, match that kind of breakneck pace. But it was often in the previous series, when the game slowed down, that there were little hiccups, little mistakes that T1 immediately capitalized on. So you're right, there's so much pressure. And you might not think it because they're just walking up, farming, hitting a wave. But that one wave extra, that one misstep on a side lane can be devastating if it costs you summoners or denies you good setup on the next objective.
It really does, and I think that Quid and Jose need to get more on the same page in this game. I feel like throughout the tournament they've been really good about that, but we've seen Quid a number of times, pushing very deep in a side lane without Jose there to protect him. Herald looking for a charge here. We'll get the tower very low, but T1 really don't want the actual fight as Morgan TP's in, so they just back off.
They get the TP out of it as well as a couple plates. TL fully set up here in the mid lane, but not with a lot to play for, as now another TP moving into the bottom lane, hoping to catch out Doran. Doran might just go for a TP of his own. Nope. Yep, there it is. We're trading TPs. Flash forward, it's got him done. Doran, you are not escaping this one. Quick Frozen Tomb comes in from Quid. Happy to steal that one away from Faker as fire rains from the sky, and down goes Doran.
But look at mid lane. T1 immediately rushed back to mid lane where they had that Herald crash to try to finish off that tower. So T1 realized, all right, we can't get anything there. But that was the flash from Quid. That was the TP from Quid. That was the ultimate from Quid. So that's not a free kill by any means. Yes, they got the TP off of Doran. They get the gold on a Quid, which is nice. But T1, as they always do, will make you pay on the map. If you overcommit to one side, they are so good at punishing you elsewhere. They're not going to just try to run down there when they know it's a lost cause for Doran. Immediately go mid, take a tower, continue getting that gold into Peyz pockets.
Definitely a terrifying team to play against. So often we praise teams when they play together as 5 members as a core with one plan. The thing that makes T1 terrifying, they can do that, and they can also split up. They can play 3 on one side. Everyone feels like they can make perfect decisions on their own and also together. And it's not without faults here or there, but for the most part, they're always responding to whatever you're trying to do.
Super scary as well. Peyz now has completed his 3rd item. Obviously, he's not, full item in gold ahead of Yeon, but Yeon did go for those upgraded boots. He does have the steel caps, which are going to be pretty effective this game, but Peyz is a beast right now. First 1 to 3 items. And there's a number of players on the map that don't even have their 2nd. Quid finally just got his. And I do like the buy when you are playing double AP solo lanes. It makes a lot of sense. You have Bloodletter's Curse here. You're shredding for just the Rumble. I'm not a fan of this item when people go out in their solo AP. I just don't really think it makes sense. But I think in this case, it does make a lot of sense. And Morgan is not going to have to go for it now. Morgan is actually going Leandries into, it looks like probably like Shadow Flame. He's just going for a really high damage build. And this is somewhat enabled by Quid, who's going to be there shredding for him. Yeon also has a decent amount of magic damage on the Varus, So it's actually a pretty smart buy, I think, in this case. And I like that from Quid.
Yeah, high value itemization choice there. Small things often making the big difference in these fights. Is Oner walking into the TL bot side jungle, looking to clear out some vision with the support of Peyz. Peyz careful not to step too far up here. Of course, 4 members of Team 1 in the area. In the bot lane, we're having the 1v1. Quid comfortable in the side lane against Faker. That's ulti down, but Quid, has he overstayed? Glacial path forward, a little bit more of a slow now coming in. Frozen Tomb used on Oner. Now it looks like Josedeodo flying over the top, trying to finish off Faker, but he drops out of vision. Josedeodo can't get the kill. Lock it to give him a little bit more HP. Ulti coming out for the Milio. Yeon off to the side, doing what he can. Doran flashing in. Morgan with the equalizer doing a ton of work. Quid still living! The abscond abduct connects! Peyz running for his life. A flamethrower behind him. Lord Morgan making it work, but Doran is still up. Doran is trying to make the difference.
Trying to make the difference, but he can't do it. He can't actually make it in this fight here as TL again coming out on top here. The question is, can they go to the Dragon? And that Shock Blast onto Yeon means a lot. Low health bars now for both Yeon and Core. They're going to have to base.
Good fight. Good look. Take a look back. Quid confident in the 1v1.
Absolutely is very confident in the 1v1 going in here. And it's not much of a 1v1 that Faker can contest at this point. He just is destroying him. He used that ult early, and Jose decides, you know what, I can go and finish him off because he doesn't have that ult. But Keria is there, double shield, he has the heal, he buys a lot of time, but then the locket from Core, kind of baits in Peyz as Peyz goes in, has to flash back out. Look how long Quid lasts, though. Spell rotation after spell rotation after spell rotation comes up and buys so much time. Morgan arrives, is able to finish him off. Another double there for Yeon. As you can see, Quid thought he had an angle to live.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, are you familiar with the Quiggle?
No, I am not familiar,
with the Quiggle.
Is that the Quiggle?
It is close to a Quiggle.
Close to a Quiggle. All right, well, you keep me posted.
Yeah. He has.
What was that called?
It's got to be something with Sylas. The Quilus? I don't know.
The Quilus.
We'll work on it. We got workshop.
Okay. The Quilus. Some tools to defend his team, but it's Core! 4-man ult! Kicking everything off. Milio across the entire team. Equalizer doing damage with Faker in the midst, slowing down the advance of TL, but it's looking good for the boys in blue. TL on the way to the pit. A double for Yeon.
CoreJJ! Say the name! Oh my gosh, he is on fire in this tournament. This one not going to be stolen away. They're going for Baron. They're going to get so much off the back of this. That was a 4-man combo from Core, who just flips the game on its head. Takes out T1, gets them the Dragon. They're on Soul Point. They're going for the Baron. You can't count T1 out, and I'm not going to lie, even though that's Milio, I'm still a little nervous because Jose is dead.
Keria.
Say it ain't so.
Keria, can you steal it? Not spotted, hovering in the fog. 3K, it should be impossible. He won't do it. Okay, observers playing with us. TL. This game started with Quid solo dying 1v1 to a Lissandra. They are now up. They are on Soul Point, and they are empowered by a Baron.
I mean, this is just crazy. Again, it's all about Core. He has the positioning in the brush. He knows they're going to try to force their way in. Look at this. As soon as they stack, instant flash, 4-man combo, and no hesitation from all of TL. Jose's in there. Morgan's in there. Yeon is in there. And Yeon, with the chains of corruption through the whole team, threads the needle, catches Peyz, of all people, with the chains of corruption, takes him out. And are they pumped up or are they pumped up?
And it's so important to highlight. That is a 1/10 of a second difference. Core was charging Hex Flash. It wasn't snap react. He's calling that shot 2 seconds ahead of time. Has to be perfect for him to make that work. You hit 3 people, that play might be entirely different, but connects on all 4, and now T1 for the first time in the series really feel like they are on the back foot. The gold is still within touching distance, but TL for the next 2 minutes, for the duration of this Red Bull Baron power play, are in control of the map.
They are, and the question is, can they get it across the finish line? This is now the 3rd game this tournament where they've been in a pretty good spot against T1, where they've had a chance, legitimate chance to actually win. And we have to see, can they do it? You have to be able to actually finish out the game. T1 is not beat until the Nexus explodes. This team never says die, always looks for angles, always looks for plays.
Knock back. Equalizer across the top, forcing Peyz away. Excellent ulti coming in from Keria to get the disengage. But TL will break open mid at the very least.
Yeah, it's another great chains corruption from Yeon, who is really having a good game at this point. And now I will draw your eyes to the Seekers that he has.
Gonna spawn with a frozen tomb. Lockdown is there. Peyz now in trouble. Josedeodo immediately going in. The fear just barely getting him out of range. Able to walk away. Faker looking for the disengage. Quid going right back in. Peyz trying to survive, but there's Quid. In game 1, he was clutch. In game 2, he's unstoppable. The triple.
TL taking another fight here as Oner tried to go aggressive. It looked for a second like Faker might have been able to bail him out. Core's trying to keep Doran around as Quid is TP'd in. I don't know if he's going to be able to chase him down. He does have his flash. Oh, he's out of vision. Smart play.
Playing on the edge of vision there.
Oh, he's looking for Yeon. He's looking for Yeon. They don't know.
Doran. Yeon goes golden. There's no way to stop this. Morgan has to debate. Can't even commit to the way. Flash over the wall from Yeon. He gets
2,000 gold. He just got a double shutdown there. 2,000 gold went to Doran off of that play. Yeon tried to look for the outplay, but he had no chains of corruption, and he flashed over the wall and set up a double to the skies there as Doran just slams his hammer down.
And you can't forget Doran. The TP out, it looks like he's just playing to save his own life, but he's playing for the exit kills on the opposite fight as well. And Yeon doing his best, maybe thinking they can play on that margin, but instead hand delivering that second kill.
It's actually such a big deal, not even just because of the gold. I mean, the gold is a big deal. He just got 2K. It was a 900 gold shutdown and a 1K shutdown. Okay, Yeon completed the Zonias. That bails it out a bit, but I was going to say, you lost your flash and your Seekers as Varus. That is a really hard fight that you're going to have now in 1 minute. And I'm curious, with TL here at Soul Point, will they still look for it? Doran, I thought he was just going to base check him, but he has the ward there, covers both sides.
That's all. We're right in the midst of another one. Paranoia going down there, desperate to take down Peyz. They've got enough damage to get it done. Overstep from the bot lane on the side of T1 as TL are quick to punish.
That's huge. That is Peyz dead, and that is the dragon spawning as he will actually come up. TL need to try to force this, try to rush it down, and claim Mountain Soul, which would be so big, and a rare misstep there. Peyz too far up. We didn't see the setup. It also looked like the Breath of Life came out too early from Keria. I'm not sure if he was cleansing something else I didn't catch, but the Fear landed after the Breath of Life came through. So nicely played by TL. They pull the trigger. They do kill him off, but it means no ult on Jose, no ult on Core. And so the question is, will they try to rush this down? Because Morgan has not yet moved.
Fight over mid priority now as Faker uses the Glacial Path to make his way out. Peyz still got a little bit of that Jackie love in him, as Ox likes to say. Will still step forward on occasion. The benefits usually outweighing the cost, but not in this case. T1 walking in, looking to face check. Q over the wall as the dragon spawns. Oner hovering in the darkness. He's won every 50-50 thus far. So Team Liquid may just be looking for a fight. Nice poke onto Quid. No ulti taken away from him yet. See what he can hijack. See what he can do to put TL in a favorable position. Oner fishing. Core off to the side. Eyes on the Alistar, but Faker might want to start this fight first. Lights turned off. Dragon getting burned down. Oner wants to stay around in the area. 2K getting lower and lower. Denying access to the pit. They need to burn down the objective, but instead it looks like they're going to play for the fight. He gets another one! Are you kidding me? This is why they call him Oner! The objectives belong to him, just as the fight might belong to T1, but instead, no! TL remains steadfast, unbreakable, in the face of elimination. Quid, unstoppable.
Yeah, they're going to try to chase him down here. Quid trying to stop the bases as they're looking to push mid as well, but Jose and Yeon are both very low. But how does he do it every single time? Gets through everyone, played that brilliantly. Core was trying to stand on him to get the HP low. Watch Oner's patience here. So he knows TL are gonna focus this down, Core's gonna knock him out. Instead, he kicks Core away. So now it's like, wait, how do we keep him back? They Nocturne ult on him, they try to kill him, but then he realizes it's too low. The Fear Tether doesn't actually land there from Jose. Ward Hop in range, 1450, E-Smite, perfectly done. That man is a machine. I refuse to believe that a human can do it, but Oner showing me once again it can be done. A beautiful Chains of Corruption though from Yeon. He has found Peyz in every fight. Yeon is on fire. Again caught him with the ult. That's why Jose flashes in for the Fear Tether afterwards. If you don't catch Peyz with that, I think Peyz can glide on you and kill your whole team from that low HP.
So many fights, so damn close. Seekers up for Quid. Sonya's for Yeon. Quid still playing very far forward, very aggressive. Peyz getting scarier and scarier. Morgan off on the side, gets an extra 2.5 seconds. That's the ulti going in on a Faker, forced to flash over the wall. An almost instantaneous retreat coming out from T1. They know at this point in the game, the stakes are sky high. If they lose another fight, TL might just grab the win.
Yeah, they are really on that knife's edge. This late in the game, next team fight win, Doesn't really matter who it is. You could probably, if you get a clean fight, it's over 100%. Even if you get a fight that's pretty favored, but key carries are dead, you could just march down and end it. And T1 are going to try to force the issue here. They know they pushed Quid back. Quid is heading down towards bot. He does have his TP. Morgan has no ult and no Zhonya's. That's why they're forcing the issue. Rumble's weak.
Team Liquid have to be careful. Where is Faker? Could be waiting in the dark. The pole hitting 4 members is big. Faker ready to arrive in the fight. Quid waiting off on the side. Which ulti will he take? Faker appearing over the wall, looking to lock down Yeon, but he goes bud and buys an extra moment. A stolen away Milio, giving them the space that they need. Oner straight to the back line, wants to turn it, but Yeon is too damn strong. Peyz locked up, but the follow-up is not there, and he's ready to glide, ready to slide through this entire fight. Quick dash over the wall, a GA, a Zhonya's, an extra couple seconds. Peyz determined to make the difference, flashing out, a snipe from downtown.
Yeon!
Peyz! A hold back. Both AD carries playing on the absolute edge. Team Liquid advantage in the fight, but Fire, once again, the barrier's still there. The healing, Peyz stands, Morgan does not.
Doran has been so clutch down the stretch here. That double kill at the end of that last fight and 2 shock blasts, each getting a kill. And the problem now for TL is the respawn timers. Morgan is dead for 50. T1 are going to res, and they could just go right back to the Baron because Morgan is going to be dead for 40 seconds still, and Oner and Faker are up in 2. Doran may have just won T1. The Baron may have just won them the game with those 2 shock blasts.
As good as it's looked for TL, as good as some of those fights have been, the gold is still so close. There is no greater advantage. The Baron shifts things so heavily in the favor of T1. And we've said it. And for a moment, TL believed it was all coming together, but T1 so quick to take that away. The game not over yet, but it's getting closer to ending in T1's favor.
I mean, it was just a great force here because they know that there's no Zhonya's, there's no flash, there's no equalizer. Rumble doesn't have the tools. TL does a good job of absorbing this engage. Great Zhonya's there from Yeon, and the Breath of Life from Quid buys a lot of time there from Yeon. Oner goes in, can't finish him off. Faker looks like he's in trouble, but it's on the other side that Peyz is the real issue here. Peyz gliding around. Jose's ult came back up. They get in to try to punish Peyz here. And look at TL playing around cooldowns. They wait until the scrap shields back up to try to go and defend Quid, but this shock blast and the subsequent one, this was one auto away from being killed.
Trying to make his way out. Spell shield already used. Now he's in trouble. Quid can try and turn this one back. A quick ulti out. Now Quid needs to get the hell out. They may have overcommitted to this one. A nice knockup. A nice interrupt. Oner might fall. Equalizer across the top, but the damage isn't quite there. Oner ticking and burning, but with the GA still supporting him, there was no hope at finishing the kill.
Yeah, it always seems to be the way against T1. You come close, but it's so hard to finish the job, whether it's a kill, whether it's a game, whether it's a dragon, it just doesn't matter. They make you fight for every last inch. Oner limping away there. Had you been able to get the kill, then they can't go for the dragon. And you can actually delay it and have an earlier respawn on your jungler. Maybe you get soul, but again, 3 times now, T1 delaying this soul for TL, and now they are both on 3 dragons here. And T1 take a slight gold lead. They have the Baron, and they are really just 1 fight away from ending the game here, but it's anyone's game to win.
That they are, but when Yeon gets chunked like that, the game gets a lot harder for Team Liquid Alienware. T1 now on the retreat. Happy to just back away. Still a minute left on that Red Bull Baron power play, but getting the Drake is enough.
Some cool tech here from Core. Goes Abyssal. Again, we talked about the multiple sources of AP. This is fantastic. Quid really needs to get gold for his Zhonya's, though. Feels like he's pretty far off. And when he gets that 3rd Zhonya's, that's a lot of playmaking tools here on TL. Obviously, Core with the Alistar ult, difficult to take down. There's GA that will be coming back up here for Jose. And then they're looking to get towards triple Zhonya's as Yeon having an intense 1v1.
He's decided not to.
Yeah, I think Jose has basically said he wants it for an item completion because you look at Jose's items.
I see.
He's saying, wait, just leave it. I actually want to finish it. Or maybe Yeon got nervous that T1 would be there too soon. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Maybe Yeon was trying to work in towards a QSS.
Yes.
And Quid does get his Zhonya's, so that is a big purchase.
That he does. The tower almost just disappears right in front of our eyes. We're waiting off to the side, hoping to find a flank. Has to clear out the vision first. T1 spot him with the Scryers. The last wave of the Baron-empowered siege is here. 3 minutes. He'll soul for either side, or the Baron is on the table.
And if you wanted action, you got action. 50 combined kills in 36 minutes. Now the highest combined kills for a game at this MSI. It has been an absolute bloodbath. Both teams really playing well in this game. Some incredible mechanics on display here. T1 with the edge now, but it's 3 dragons to 3. 2K gold is irrelevant at this point of the game, and 5K of the advantage is all on Doran, and Doran has been done his items for a while, so he basically has nothing he can spend it on unless he wants to start changing out items. The gold means nothing. It is going to be about the gold on the carries, and in those roles, it is even or slightly favored towards TL right now.
That it is. You can see QSS now picked up from Yeon, double defensive items here. But really, it's going to come down to who can find better positioning on the fight or who can chip away at those major cooldowns before the next fight breaks out. Morgan probably going to have access to that TP. Flashes should all be up. It's really only Yeon's we're waiting on. So it's going to be the full team fight. No greater edge unless one of these two lineups can maybe find a pick on a side lane, punish someone for over pushing a potential wave, but it's a big reason why you see T1 moving his 3, even just to clear a single mid wave. Yep,
Yeon even there was trying to cover Jose as he's doing his wolves. They know one pick in the game could very easily be over because Mountain Soul could be the decider. And if you die at the wrong time, if you lose your summoners at the wrong time, you misplay in a fight, the stakes do not get higher than in the 40-minute game where the respawn timers are going to be a minute if you die here, and that's pretty much lights out if you take a bad fight. So all of the pressure now on these players here. And T1 is a team that has faced that pressure and come out on top so many times in their careers. TL going to have to try to pull off some magic, complete an actual victory here, because the difference between going 1-1 and actually being tied in this series and being down 2-0, it's a gulf bigger than the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, it is huge.
Asking for a reverse sweep against T1 is just not something that you see every day.
And remember what it took for us to get this close in this game. A heroic comeback from Quid, backed up by Josedeodo, and Core, the facilitator of each and every game-turning play for TL. You said it yourself, coming into this tournament domestically, not at the top of the list in anyone's mind for supports. A lot of names above him, but he has been clutch in this tournament so far, and in this game, he is no doubt the MVP for TL. But an MVP of a loss doesn't mean much. TL desperate to convert this into a win.
And Doran has been really the hero after getting a lot of criticism in the last series against TL. He comes into game 1, gets a solo kill onto Morgan, and then he comes into this game, and from a number of positions where it looked like TL were going to get the advantage, he gets a double kill, then he gets multiple shot blast for kills. TL are threatening.
Culling, used, traded for the Unbreakable Will. Dash backwards from TL. Really nice to get that Alistar cooldown out of the equation. At this point, Core can maybe hope to get one combo before he drops in a fight.
Exactly. He has the base as well, so T1 might be already on the Baron. We don't know. They could actually be over there, and they are, in fact, on the Baron. It's going to get spotted. Core is rushing out of base here, but this could be one of the final moments.
15 seconds on the Drake. Maybe TL, they're immediately going to turn. They have to accept fighting against a Baron-empowered T1 on their terms at the Dragon Soul, rather than risk going into unknown territory.
And I like the call, but it's still really, really risky here. T1 going to try to bully their way in. We don't know if TL are rushing the Dragon down or looking for the fight. They're on the Dragon, but it's still so healthy.
Many fans praying. 8K getting lower. Core looking for the engage. Quid up to the side. The Abscond Abduct doesn't connect, and Peyz for now is untouched. Josedeodo in the back line, but he's faced first into 3. Lockup is there from Faker, and it's all falling apart. Team looking to hold off the Dragon for a brief moment. Oner into the back line. 3 members left, and they have to hold the line. Yeon desperate to turn this back, but Doran comes in from the skies. Yeon still living for an extra moment, getting a couple extra autos. Faker will finally fall, but Peyz full health, playing cleanup to close it out.
Core tries to repeat the heroics from earlier, but it just doesn't happen. T1 win the fight. They avoid the engage. TL spent so much on that initial punch, and it was just not meant to be. Peyz stays safe and takes over another team fight.
A statement from T1, no matter how far ahead you get, it just might not matter against this lineup. Peyz gliding through the fight, a single misstep, more than enough for this team to end things in their favor. Core doing what he can to hold the line, but there's just no time. Peyz this time around, eyes on the prize. He doesn't need any more kills, looking for the Nexus. Oner knocking it down. Core doing everything he possibly can, but a few autos are all that's left. Between T1 and match point, down goes Core, down go T1.
TL. Josedeodo will fall. The Nexus will fall. T1 at match point.
Well played by T1 again. They come up big in the team fights, and so many clutch moments by Doran. Really felt like he was such a difference maker in this game.